Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. This world may try to tell you who you are, but the truth is you were born with gifts. 5 gifts that were handpicked for you. Not for decoration, not for display, but for dominion. See, every woman is a force, but not every woman knows she is. And when you forget that, you start to settle. You start to shrink. You start to hand over power like it's charity. But I came here today to remind you, you were chosen, and chosen ones don't waste gifts. And this ain't just motivation, it's a call to rise, a call to remember. Because if you walk away from these 5 gifts, you walk away from your destiny, strength. That's the first gift. The one that often gets misunderstood, overlooked, or even hidden behind a smile. But make no mistake, it's there. It always has been. See, when we talk about strength, people like to picture muscles, loud voices, raised fists. But real strength is quiet. It's unshakable. It's what you hold on to when everything around you is falling apart. A woman's strength isn't loud, it's loud enough. It doesn't need a spotlight because it's too busy holding the world together behind the scenes. And for too long, that kind of power has been mistaken for just responsibility or what you're supposed to do. But you weren't made to just handle it. You were made to carry nations in your soul and never let them fall. From the moment a girl becomes a woman, life starts throwing its weight. Expectations, criticism, rejection, pain, and yet you keep showing up, you keep giving, you keep standing tall when everything tries to break you down. Because that's the kind of strength God gave you. Not borrowed, not manufactured, built in. Some of you were raised in chaos, yet you found a way to bring peace. Some of you were betrayed by the ones you loved most, yet you still learned how to trust again. Some of you are raising kids on your own, working 2 jobs, holding back tears at night, and still smiling in the morning. That's not just endurance, that's divine strength. This gift didn't come easy. It was forged in the fires of heartbreak, loneliness, and lessons you never asked for. But here you are, not broken, reborn, not defeated, defined. They told you to be soft, to stay quiet, to not take up too much space. But even when you lowered your tone, your presence still spoke volumes. Because strength isn't about volume, it's about value. And your value can't be measured by anyone who doesn't understand your purpose. Strength doesn't mean you don't cry. It doesn't mean you don't feel pain. Strength is feeling all of it and still choosing to rise. Strength is holding back words that could destroy someone and choosing silence that speaks louder. Strength is not in control, it's in the discipline behind the control. You've carried burdens you never spoke of. You've shown up for people who never even asked how you were doing. You've given grace to those who didn't deserve it, not because you were weak, but because you were strong enough to lead with love when anger would have been easier. And that's the thing, this world has tried to convince you that being strong means being hard, cold, closed off, but no. True strength is being soft without being walked over. It's having a kind heart and iron soul. It's knowing when to bend and when to break the chains. Some of you are holding families together with your bare hands and tired prayers. Some of you are battling depression in silence, pretending you're okay just so the people around you don't worry. Some of you are healing from things no one even knows happened to you. But you keep going. That's not survival, that's supernatural strength. And you've got to understand something. Your strength is not just for you. It's for your daughters, your sisters, the women watching you from a distance, learning what it means to be powerful with poise. You're teaching the next generation what it means to fight battles silently, to win wars without making noise. But don't you dare forget yourself in the process. Don't let your strength become your prison. Just because you can carry it all doesn't mean you should. Being strong doesn't mean being alone. Ask for help. Receive love. Let yourself rest. Because your strength should serve you, not exhaust you. You weren't designed to break. You were designed to bend, to stretch, to adjust, but not to crumble. And even when life throws you into the fire, you don't burn. You refine. You glow hotter, you shine brighter, you emerge stronger. So don't waste this gift. Don't downplay it. Don't silence it just to make others feel comfortable. Don't hide it to fit into a room you've outgrown. You're not too much. You're exactly enough. Stand in your power. Walk with that quiet thunder in your chest. Let the world know that no matter what it throws at you, you will not be shaken. Because strength isn't what you say, it's who you are. Yeah, there's something in you that doesn't shout, but it speaks. It whispers when something's wrong, even when everything looks right. It tugs at your soul when you're about to say yes to something your spirit already said no to. It's not paranoia, that's not overthinking. That's your gift, that's your intuition. And you need to stop ignoring it. The world teaches women to doubt themselves. From the moment you're little, you're taught to second guess your feelings, your voice, your choices. You're told, don't be too emotional, don't be too sensitive, don't overreact. But let me tell you something right now. You were never overreacting. You were overhearing something your spirit picked up long before your eyes caught up. That's the power of intuition. It's not just a feeling, it's a knowing. A sacred radar that sees through fake smiles, hears the lies behind sweet words, and picks up danger before it knocks. It's the alarm that goes off without sirens. It's the signal before the storm. And you've had it your whole life. You just forgot how to trust it. How many times have you said something didn't feel right? And how many times did you ignore that voice only to find out you were right all along? See, that inner voice, it's not trying to scare you, it's trying to save you. But we live in a noisy world, a world that praises logic and dismisses inner truth, a world that tells women to be agreeable, even when everything inside is screaming, run. Your intuition is not a suggestion, it's a strategy. It's how you navigate relationships, career decisions, motherhood, friendships, even danger. When your intuition speaks, it's not offering you advice, it's giving you a warning, or sometimes a blessing. Some of the worst mistakes you made, you knew better, you felt it, but you silenced that voice, trying to keep the peace, trying not to be dramatic, trying to give someone another chance. But intuition doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't play politics. It tells the truth that your heart sometimes isn't ready to hear. And here's the part they don't tell you. The more you honor that voice, the louder it gets. The more you follow it, the more it leads you to peace. The more you listen, the more you're protected. Because intuition is also your compass. It not only keeps you from danger, it guides you to destiny. That job you felt pulled to, that city you knew you had to move to, that one conversation that changed everything. You didn't know why, you just knew. That was your intuition, that was your spirit saying, go now. You are not crazy for feeling deeply. You are not weak for sensing things others miss. You are not soft for needing stillness to hear your soul. That's your power. That's your advantage. And if you learn to use it, it'll never lead you wrong. And here's the warning. Intuition requires Silence. You can't hear your inner voice when the world is screaming at you. You can't feel your gut when you're surrounded by people telling you who to be. Sometimes you got to step back, turn off the noise, pull away from the crowd, and ask yourself, what do I feel? Not what do I think, what do I feel? Because in that feeling is truth. And if you honor that truth, you will unlock a level of clarity most people spend their whole lives chasing. You're let know it, you just haven't been listening. You already have the answers, you just keep asking everyone else. Stop looking for validation from people who don't live with the consequences of your decisions. Stop asking permission to trust yourself. Nobody else has your spirit. Nobody else has your sensitivity. Nobody else can hear what your soul is telling you. So stop running from your intuition and start returning to it. It's your best friend. It's your greatest defense. It is your map when the path makes no sense and the signs are missing. Your intuition will cost you. It might cost you some friends, some relationships, some opportunities that looked good but felt wrong. Well, what it gives you in return is peace, protection, purpose. You'll sleep better, move smarter, love deeper, because now you're not walking blindly, you're walking guided. So don't waste that gift. Don't let the noise of this world drown out the wisdom inside you. Don't you dare call it just a feeling. It's not just a feeling. It's your compass. It's your anchor. It's your divine warning system. And when you trust it, you start living like the woman you were always meant to be. Not afraid, not confused, but led. You've been knocked down more times than you can count. You've cried behind closed doors, wiped your own tears, stitched up your own wounds, and smiled like nothing ever happened. That's not just strength. That's resilience. That's the third gift, a quiet, fire-tested force that lives deep inside every woman who has ever refused to stay broken. Resilience doesn't look glamorous. It's not shiny or soft. It's rough. It's raw. It's earned. It's born in the moments nobody clapped for you, nobody stood with you, and yet you stood anyway. Let's be real. Life didn't hand you a smooth path. You had to carve it out with your bare hands. You've dealt with disappointments that should have crushed you, betrayals that should have made you bitter, setbacks that tried to bury you alive, and yet, here you are, still breathing, still building, still believing. And that's the thing about resilience. It doesn't always look like power. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed when everything inside you says stay down. Sometimes it looks like forgiving someone who didn't even say sorry. Sometimes it looks like showing up to the same job, the same battle, the same storm, because quitting just wasn't an option. Resilience is not about never falling. It's about how you rise, how you dust yourself off, even when you're tired of starting over, how you keep going even when nobody is watching and no one is cheering. You're not waiting on applause. You're fueled by purpose. And that purpose refuses to let you fold. Some of the strongest women you'll ever meet are the ones who've suffered silently, carried burdens privately, and rebuilt their lives piece by piece, with grace, with grit, and with God's gift of bounce back. The world loves to label women emotional, sensitive, too much. But let me tell you something. They don't get to define what you've walked through. They don't know what it's like to hold your world together while everything inside you is crumbling. They don't know the nights you've cried yourself to sleep and still woke up with enough love to give. That's what resilience does. It refuses to let you be defined by your lowest moments. It says, yes, that happened. Yes, it hurt. But no, it will not destroy me. Resilience is when you turn pain into fuel, when you take the lessons and leave the bitterness, when you fall 7 times and get up 8. And here's what they never told you. Resilience doesn't mean you don't break down. It means you break down without staying broken. It means you felt pain so deeply, but chose not to become it. It means you've been through hell, but you're still soft enough to love, still brave enough to try, still wise enough to know your story isn't over. Your resilience is your reminder that no matter how far you fall, there's something in you that rises every time. Something that refuses to let you go out like that. Something that keeps whispering, you've got more in you than this. And you do. You've survived heartbreaks that made your chest feel hollow. You've endured seasons of loneliness that made you question your worth. You stood in the ruins of things you thought would last forever. But you didn't just survive, you evolved. You're not the same woman you were back then. You're stronger, wiser, sharper, softer in the right places, tougher in the others. That's not coincidence. That's resilience shaping you, molding you, preparing you. Your skies tell stories of survival. And not just survival, resurrection. You didn't just make it through, you grew through. Every crack in you lets the light shine through now. Every bruise turned into wisdom. Every breakdown became a blueprint for your breakthrough. And I need you to understand, resilience is not just a gift. It's your legacy. Your daughters, your nieces, your sisters, they're watching how you rise. They're learning not just from your wins, but from how you handle your wounds. You're teaching them that it's okay to be broken for a moment, but not for a lifetime. So don't let your story stop at pain. Don't let it end at failure. Don't stay stuck in the places where life tried to bury you, because you weren't meant to just suffer. You were meant to shine, to rise again, to use every fall as fuel for your next level. This world will try to break you. That's a given. But resilience is what makes sure it never finishes the job. Resilience is that fire in your belly that says, I don't care how dark it gets, I will find my way back to the light. So carry your scars with pride. Walk with your head high, even if your knees are trembling. Show the world what it means to be knocked down and still refuse to stay there. You are resilient, not because life has been easy, but because you never let it harden you. You kept your heart open, your dreams alive, and your spirit unshaken. And that, right there, is a divine gift. Don't waste it. There's a gift that doesn't always make noise, but it changes everything. It's the ability to see through the smoke, to sense what doesn't feel right even when everyone else is cheering it on. It's called discernment, and it's one of the most powerful gifts a woman can carry. You don't always recognize it in the moment, but it's that quiet voice that tells you something here ain't right. It's not fear. It's not paranoia. It's truth dressed in stillness. You've felt it before, that uneasy pull in your spirit when someone looked good, sounded right, but something inside of you said, walk away. That moment when a job, a friend, or even a relationship looked like a blessing, but your gut was screaming, don't trust it. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's discernment stepping in to protect what your eyes can't yet see. This gift isn't loud. It doesn't shout for attention. It shows up in silence, in instincts, in that split second where your soul reads between the lines. And the more you ignore it, the more you invite confusion, regret, and pain. But when you honor it, when you trust that deep knowing inside of you, you walk in a power most people will never understand. Discernment is the difference between being fooled by charm and recognizing character. The world teaches you to look at the surface, how someone talks, what they wear, how big they smile. But discernment digs deeper. It looks at patterns, not promises. Energy, not just effort. It hears what's not being said and sees what's being hidden. Some of the worst situations you've been in came from moments you ignored that voice. You doubted yourself. You gave someone the benefit of the doubt when your spirit was screaming for clarity, and you paid the price. But that mistake wasn't your end. It was your training. It was life teaching you to trust your discernment next time, to stop explaining away your intuition, to stop shrinking your sensitivity for the comfort of others. Discernment is sacred. It's not just about people. It's about timing, choices, and alignment. It's what tells you now is not the season, or this opportunity looks good, but it's not for you. It helps you wait, even when everyone's rushing. It gives you peace when you say no, even if it disappoints someone. It clears the noise and keeps you grounded in truth, not pressure. Don't mistake it for overthinking. Don't let the world convince you you're being too much when you pause and listen to your instincts. That still, small voice inside of you, that's not weakness. That's divine protection. That's your guide when logic fails and emotions cloud your vision. Every strong woman you know who built something meaningful, peace, purpose, power, she didn't do it by luck. She did it by listening, by turning inward when the world screamed outward, by trusting the whispers of her soul more than the applause of the crowd. You've got that same gift. The question is,